These are times when just one interview was enough to demolish an entire career. Starting off with the least shocking, this first one takes us back to a 2019 interview.
We've come to Buckingham Palace in highly unusual circumstances. Normally, we'd be discussing your work, your duty. We'll come on to that. But today, you've chosen to speak out for the first time. Why have you decided to talk now?
Prince Andrew, a longtime member of the British royal family, found himself caught in the middle of a major American scandal. In 2010, Virginia Roberts went to the FBI, providing detailed accounts of being trafficked and abused by Epstein on his infamous private island. Among those she accused was Duke Andrew.
One of Epstein's accusers, Virginia Roberts, has made allegations against you. She says she met you in 2001. She says she dined with you, danced with you at Tramp nightclub in London. She went on to have sex with you in a house in Belgravia belonging to Ghislaine Maxwell, your friend. Your response?
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
You don't remember meeting her?
No.
After the interview aired, the public did what it does best and dug up a 2001 photo of Andrew with 17-year-old Virginia with his hand wrapped around her waist.
Do I regret the fact that he has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming? Yes.
Unbecoming? He was a sex offender?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm being polite, in the sense that he was a sex offender. But no.
He asked me to dance. He is the most hideous dancer I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it was horrible, and this guy was sweating all over me. Like, his sweat was like, it was raining basically everywhere, and I was just like, whoa, grossed out from it. But I knew I had to keep him happy because that's what Jeffrey and Ghislaine would expect from me.
Liam Neeson, who has a new movie out, it's called Cold Pursuit, and just 24 hours ago, he made headlines for talking about an incident that happened decades earlier involving a very close friend of his who he says was assaulted.
I'll preface this next clip by saying public opinion was mixed. Still, this moment makes the list because it definitely had an impact on his career.
And Liam, first of all, I really appreciate your willingness to have this discussion, because when it comes to race, it can be very uncomfortable for people, and it just caught people off guard. How you responded when you were asked about revenge, and you want to explain what you said?
After a close female friend of his was assaulted by a black man, the anger that built up inside him drove him to some bizarre actions.
I remembered an incident nearly 40 years ago where a very dear friend of mine was brutally, and I was out of the country, and when I came back, she told me about this. I'd never felt this feeling before, which was a primal urge to lash out. I asked her, did you know the person? It was a man. No. His race? She said he was a black man. I thought, okay. And after that, there were some nights I went out deliberately into black areas in this city, looking to be set upon so that I could unleash physical violence. And I did it for, I'd say, maybe 4 or 5 times.
He later explained how he recognized it was a problem and sought help immediately.
I did seek help. I went to a priest. I heard my confession. I was reared a Catholic. I had 2 very, very good friends that I talked to.
Some labeled him a racist, while others fully sympathized with him. Where do you stand in this debate? While Liam Neeson's actions were wrong, but somewhat understandable, the same can't be said for celebrity chef Paula Deen.
We begin tonight with that very rare public apology coming from the head of that food empire, Paula Deen. Her TV shows, cookbooks, endorsements, much of it in jeopardy tonight. The self-proclaimed queen of Southern cooking is herself feeling the heat tonight. Late today, a bold move, Deen posting a video on YouTube asking for forgiveness after admitting she's used racial slurs in the past.
The racial slur accusations weren't even what tipped the balance in Paula's case. It later came out that for her wedding, she wanted a plantation theme. Yes, she wanted to recreate a scene straight out of the slavery era to celebrate her golden day.
If there's anyone out there that has never said something that they wish they could take back. If you're out there, please pick up that stone and throw it so hard in my head that it kills me.
I want to apologize to everybody for the wrong that I've done. I want to learn and grow from this.
The public apologies weren't enough. The Food Network dropped her show, Walmart pulled her products, and just like that, her multi-million-dollar empire collapsed overnight.
Totally unacceptable. I've made plenty of mistakes along the way.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937.
It's not often you see far-right critics and Disney fans agreeing on something, but during an interview to promote Snow White, Rachel Zegler basically lit the $250 million movie budget on fire. While Disney fans cherish the studio's first ever animated feature, regardless of modern politics, Zegler slammed the original film and even criticized the idea of women dreaming about love.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. And so it's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
The young actress faced brutal backlash, and let's just say her career might be over before it even began.
A lewd conversation over 10 years old, caught on a hot mic, released just weeks before the election. Then candidate Trump apologized and dismissed it as locker room talk. TV host Billy Bush, though, was dismissed from his job.
While Trump walked away mostly unscathed after the footage surfaced, Billy Bush wasn't so lucky.
7 months later, you're unemployed. Donald Trump is president of the United States. That must be a thought that has crossed your mind.
I can acknowledge that the irony is glaring. It certainly has crossed my mind.
If you're not familiar with the tape, the two forgot their mics were still on and described sexual acts they'd perform on a specific woman. When it came out, they brushed it off as locker room talk. What do you think?
I gotta use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Look at those legs. All I can see is the legs.
No, it looks good.
Now, Paula Abdul's colorful interview on Q13 Fox News this morning. It is the talk of the town.
Showing up drunk to an interview isn't exactly great PR, but when your jaw's swinging and you're randomly bursting into laughter, people start wondering if alcohol's even the real issue. That's exactly what happened during Paula Abdul's interview with Fox News.
Tell us, what are you looking forward to this season?
How about a lot of you coming in? It's a wild party where you are.
Simon Lithgow said the singers in Seattle were crazies, drinking too much coffee. Simon Cowell said these were the worst, miserable singers he's ever seen. Why do you think we're so bad here? That's not true.
You know what? They said, listen, any publicity is good publicity. You got to learn to eat it up and embrace it and say, Seattle had the best delusional people.
Charlie Sheen is known to millions for his award-winning body of work on television and in the movies. But this morning, he's here to talk about something immensely personal and private. Charlie, good morning. Good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
How you been?
Good. Thank you so much.
If you're after a shock factor clip, this is it. Charlie Sheen went on Matt Lauer's show to reveal a truth about himself. But that wasn't even the most shocking part.
Well, thank you. You know there are a lot of rumors out there right now, and you would like to address them head on, so I'll give it to you. Go ahead.
I have to, yeah. I'm here to admit that I am, in fact, HIV positive.
Thanks to medical advancements, HIV isn't the death sentence it once was, but it's still a serious risk no one would willingly take. That's why the interviewer's next question raised concerns about how Charlie was really handling the situation.
Have you had unprotected sex on any occasion since your diagnosis?
Yes, but the two people that I did that with were under the care of my doctor, and they were completely warned ahead of time.
Ben was there. He talked about the fact that he shares your bedroom.
Yes.
Can you understand why people would worry about that?
Because they're ignorant.
But is it really appropriate for a 44-year-old man to share a bedroom with a child who is not related to him at all?
That's a beautiful thing.
That's not a worrying thing?
Why should they be worrying? Who's the criminal? Who's Jack the Ripper in the room? This is a guy trying to help heal a child. I'm sleeping in a sleeping bag on the floor. I gave him the bed because he has a brother named Star. So him and Star took the bed, and I'm on the floor in the sleeping bag.
Did you ever sleep in the bed with them?
No.
After this interview aired, thousands turned against Michael Jackson, and for good reason, but he claimed it was simply his way of caring for kids with troubled childhoods, like the one he had growing up. Corey Feldman, the man who exposed Hollywood's abusers, had this to say about Jackson.
One gentleman in the industry who did not take advantage of you, he was not a pedophile. You said it was Michael Jackson. Of all people.
As time goes on, more people believe Michael Jackson never took advantage of the children he mentored, but the case remains clouded in uncertainty because of its unique circumstances. 2005 was a rough year for Tom Cruise's public image. It started with that now infamous appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show.
First of all, thanks for coming to my Legends Ball with Katie. Was that the best? Fun? Was that? Yes, yes! What has happened to you? That's how I feel about it. You figure out what he is going to tell, what he isn't going to tell. I've never seen you like that. You're not. You know, Katie once told 17 magazine, yes.
Then came the backlash after he publicly criticized Brooke Shields for using antidepressants to treat postpartum depression. Cruise later appeared on the Today Show with Matt Lauer.
Never agreed with psychiatry, ever. Before I was a Scientologist, I never agreed with psychiatry. And then when I started studying the history of psychiatry, I started realizing more and more why I didn't agree with psychiatry. Psychiatry is a pseudoscience.
But years ago, you did an interview, which may come back to haunt you. You know what I'm going to say, right?
No.
Okay. You did an interview in which you said,
While many consider this clip a classic, it also reflects how common domestic violence was back then. Widely considered the best James Bond, Sean Connery once explained in an interview how he sometimes handles arguments with women.
not the worst thing to slap a woman now and then. As I remember, you said you don't do it with a clenched fist, it's better to do it with an open hand. Yeah, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I didn't love that.
I haven't changed my opinion.
You haven't?
No, not at all.
You think it's good to slap a woman?
No, I don't think it's good. I
don't think it's bad?
I don't think it's that bad. I think that it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. Yeah.
Or what would merit it?
Well, if you have tried everything else, and women are pretty good at this, they can't leave it alone. They don't want to have the last word, and you give them the last word, but they're not happy with the last word. They want to say it again, and get into a really provocative situation. Then I think it's absolutely right.
To give her a good slap?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whose side were you on? Did any of these celebrities actually have a point, or did the public get it right by hitting back? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.